Welcome to Business Reporter's The Future is 5G campaign, hosted by The Telegraph Online. I'm Alistair Greener. Freedom and the pursuit of freedom lies at the heart of culture, education and travel. Students, performers and educators want to grow and live in a world where ideas flow without borders. Imagine a world where the creative spark, the knowledge and the conversation amongst artists, teachers and their audiences aren't hindered by geographical limitations. Imagine that musicians can perform together even though they play their instruments on different continents. Imagine a worldwide classroom where educators and students build a safer, better future. Connected culture. This is how the King's College Centre for Telecommunications Research and Ericsson described the immersive experience of performing arts without borders. Ali Husseini, the project leader of the Sound Workshop for RADA, believes that a new genre of artistic collaboration is emerging.
The goal of this project is to develop a set of technologies and methods that will become part of the standard operating kit for theaters in the future.
Well, the aim of the project is to try to connect two spaces from the auditory point of view. So we have an orchestra, a small number of musicians in one room on the other side of the road, and then we have some data going on over the internet, and then replaying it back in this space as if the musicians were actually here.
What makes it possible? 5G, the fifth generation of wireless networks. The sights and sounds of a distant artist can be heard, felt and seen by audiences anywhere in the world.
I walked in halfway through because I wasn't called to rehearse the particular song. I realised that the band was playing across the street. I think that's absolutely fantastic. I mean, just think what you could do with that. You could be playing with a band in America.
Before artists performed, it must be rehearsed, learnt and practiced. Professor Misha Dola from the King's College Centre for Telecommunications Research, a piano player, a scientist and an educator, understands both the creative and the scientific sides of learning music.
Applying the Internet of Skills in that setting is very powerful because we could have famous or very good teachers upload a perfect way how to play the piano onto a skills database. We standardize all that information, we store it there, and then we can replay that using an exoskeleton on people's hands so people learn how to play the piano in an optimum way. Digital has transformed education. We used to teach in classrooms. Now a lot of the stuff is online.
And 5G-empowered connected culture changes the classroom relationship fundamentally.
Many years ago now, I went to the Science Museum and it was the most depressing day of my life. I walked in and it was just paradise to me, and I went to my father and said, "My God, why haven't you taken me here sooner? Why can't I be in the Science Museum? Look at all these things I can learn, look at all the things I can do." I want all school children to be able to feel, touch, hear and see everything that's going in the Science Museum. And with 5G you can do that. You can provide the audio, you can provide the video, and you can actually touch things. Having low latency and high bandwidth for people like primary school children, where they don't learn by seeing and hearing, but they learn by playing and interacting, having edge computing to do that would add value.
These are great ambitions. How does 5G help achieve all of this? We asked Professor Dola to join us in the Reuters studio. Broadcasting, online education, music, they've all existed, for a long time. So what difference is 5G really going to make to them?
Look, Alistair, it all burns down to the difference between virtual reality and synchronized reality. So we know what virtual reality is. It's all about bringing me closer to another environment somewhere else. Now, synchronized reality is something new, and that is when you bring both environments together, so I can interact with you, but you also can interact with me. So this is where 5G comes in.
What difference is that going to make, and how far have you got in its development?
So 5G has really three big transformative components. One is that delay will go down, latency will go down from maybe 100 milliseconds we experience today to 10, maybe 1 millisecond. So it's all going to be very, very quick. We also have a massive increase in data rates. So we're going from a gigabit per second we have today with 4G to maybe 10 gigabit per second, if not 100 gigabits per second. And the third thing we can do is we connect so many more devices. So currently we can connect billions, and in the future with 5G we can connect trillions of devices. Now, with all these capabilities, we can build new internets. So we are currently building this pioneering concept of the Internet of Skills, to connect the skill set, literally transmit physical skill, transmit touch. And once we're able to do that across the planet, we can transmit any skill we want. So we have empowered the machines, but we have also empowered the humans.
And another area where this synchronized reality that you were talking about would make perfect sense is in the travel industry. How will that actually work, or how could it work?
Today, we use digital to negotiate for work, right? We use LinkedIn, emails, etc. But to execute the work, we still need to travel. We need to drive, we need to fly, we need to walk somewhere. Now, in the future, I could imagine with the Internet of Skills, a plumber, instead of actually going to your home, would do that remotely. Or if Rolls-Royce has a problem with the airplane engines, instead of flying the engineers to where the problem is, they do that remotely. There's a lot of possibility by using that type of Internet of Skills in remote locations.
What would you say to the skeptics who say, yeah, that's all very well, but actually you can't beat the personal touch, you can't beat local experience? What would you say to that?
Yes, we do need the human touch. We like to be touched, etc. And no is if it comes maybe more in the professional settings where a lot of that touch and kinesthetic type of experience, we're not able to transmit it because of very poor networks. So 4G and the current internet, they don't allow us to transmit very low latency experiences. But now with 5G and an advanced internet, we hope to have such a low latency that we have a great immediacy type of experience between people and environments.
How far are we away from making this all happen?
The beginning of 2018, we were the first one in the UK to deploy a fully functioning 5G system together with Ericsson and Vodafone. So we tested a 3.5 gigahertz massive MIMO array. First one to do it. We're also the first one to do a fully end-to-end virtualized call on using 5G and hybrid 4G technology. So they are the world's first happening right now in London, in the UK. What we have been doing over the past 3 and 4 years is have gone to different verticals and said, hey, what can we do with 5G? Is it useful to you? And interestingly, every single vertical came back and said, hey, wow, this is exciting. It's transformative to our business model, whether that is the NHS, whether that is healthcare, gaming, finances, manufacturing, you name it. Everybody came back and said, we love it. So that co-design we did over the last years, very intense, very time-consuming, allowed us to create now a demand which we hope will ensure that the technology will be picked up the moment it becomes fully commercial, which I hope to be maybe this time next year.
That soon?
That soon.
Misha Dola from King's College, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.